It is going to be that double Paladin comp again. We'll see how that works out.
It's a different team playing double Paladin.
Yeah,
Is this some
Paladins.
Fodom?
I don't know. Paladins are just so good with that 30 seconds forbearance. Like I said before, this is something you would never see because it's just you wouldn't get to actually use all the bops. But now, because it's such a short cooldown, you're gonna be able to bop Squeakerx crows so often. It's gonna be hard for him to actually get that burst out. Also, bop Memphisrains and CC. He's gonna be able to sack him out of Squeaker's traps. Ugh.
The good side though is that Memphis can actually purge it as Prot as opposed to arms, so it's not something that you're like immune. Normally when you're playing KFC against a comp like this, you just have to sit there and be like, okay, there's Bop, I'm gonna AFK for 10 seconds and then come back, but they can actually get it off, so maybe they can pull this off. And Squeaker plays survival as opposed to BM, so he's gonna do more damage to plate targets if they go on to Eranei, but I have to wait and see what they really end up picking as a target. I think they're adjusting to what comp it is right now behind the pillar.
Yeah, they're taking it back to like,
expecting jungle, not two pink, double bubble.
Yeah, I mean, this is a comp I've never seen on live. Like, I've never fought against this. I've only seen it in GCD, so it's weird.
It's a theory crafted comp. Early cycling onto Eranei. He's not going to be able to interrupt it. A sack coming onto Inviable from Law. He wants to try and break that trap incoming. The Stormbolt's going to land. He purges off the sack, though. The trap's not going to land. He pops the Avenging Rat to heal through the early damage and closes onto Squeaker into the Hodge at 40%. He might have to Trinket Deter. He gets it off at 20%, but that was a close call.
That was Eranei's wings, too, so Law and Eranei using the Avenging Wrath. It's going to be up for another 6 seconds, so Squeaker could be in a little bit of trouble, but he is going to get the Iron Bark from Taz, and that should negate a lot of this damage coming up. And Squeaker and Memphisrains are looking to turn it around onto Inviable right now, but he's really not taking too much damage. The Hodge into Stormbolt comes out from Law. Eranei going to sack that immediately, and now Taz put into that full Hodge. A second Hodge coming out on the Squeaker, but it does get dispelled, I think. Wait, actually, yeah, it did get dispelled. Taz came out of the Hodge and dispelled it off. And it looks like both teams have sort of stabilized at this point.
Yeah, Law using a bop there to get out of a Stormbolt, I believe. Inviable going for a Wyvern Sting right now. Taz not going to be able to Shadow Meld it. He's going to be sitting in that, possibly a trap out of it as well. Squeaker getting pressured hard here. The bleeds are up from Memphis. He throws a Master Flag, but it was too late for the trap. Taz finally coming out of CC, actually going for a clone. He's going to get fist adjusted on it, and Squeaker's completely alone. Murder of Crows is up. If he deters too late here, he's going to activate it before that deadly kill shot range at 26%, but into the DR fist Taz goes. He pops the Heart of the Wild. He has NS. Can he get it off? And it's not going to get off in time. And Eranei, Inviable, and Lawman, double pally is double trouble.
Yeah. He just ended up holding onto that deterrence a little bit too long, I think, and got a little too low. And they were able to just finish him off with that DR Hodge.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really hard for Tazzypoo of Ameno to work through all those cooldowns. But I think once they finally do work through all the bops, work through all the sacks, it'll start evening out for them. But it's going to take a really long time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that once they get through those like hand of whatever advantage, I feel like the consistent pressure of this ATC is going to prove better than the utility of the Rep Paladin. But we're going to have to see. I mean, that's exactly what happened in the finals, I think, of GCD TV number 7? No, I think it was 5, where this ATC actually won the whole tournament going up against the Jungle Cleave just by outlasting them. So we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and ask this Tazzypoo of Church Ameno team what map they want next. And I have a funny feeling it's going to be Tiger's Peak.
That could have been really different if he Shadow Melded the Wyvern or got intervened on it, like just interrupting a CC chain. Or if Memphis had reflected the trap or saved Reflect and tried to reflect a Hodge or something. Like, Taz only needed one more global to NS him with Heart. And I mean,
he probably would have topped him off there.
But yeah, he needed 1 second and everything went wrong. So that's kind of why they kind of got stomped, I think. So hopefully they can figure it out and play through it on the second game. I don't really know if any map really gives them an advantage.
They have a comfortable map. This team is notorious for going to Tiger's Peak.
Yeah, well,
big maps.
Is that what they did?
Yep, they just chose Tiger's Peak.
Oh. They like the snow. It's comfortable when you fall down in the snow.
Maybe they're Canadian.
Oh my God.
I feel like Taz as the healer is pretty comfortable with his team's positioning on that map. They might just be more familiar with it for whatever reason. I don't know. We'll see here in just a minute. I'm queuing up for these teams to jump into the queue, and the next map of this best of 3 series, boys, and maybe a couple girls, is Tiger's Peak Arena.
Peter Pan's even excited.
Oh, it's Peter Pan. Couldn't quite hear him.
Yeah, right.
I have pretty sweet headphones, okay? They're like $20 from Target.
Oh, he snuck up on me. I just couldn't hear a thing.
All right, here we are, Tiger's Peak Arena, the one and only. This is the ATC's homeland. I don't know if they're gonna beat this double Paladin team. It's gonna be here. But can they?
And Eranei is falling asleep. Right? I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, this is the best of 3. This could be game point here if Inviable and Eranei lock and pull this out.
Inviable teabagging his partner, Eranei.
Yeah, there's some shenanigans going on over there. This isn't quite appropriate.
This isn't Halo Inviable. You don't teabag here. All right, let's see how aggressive they're going to be. Memphisrains on his little floating disc. Eventually going to make a move here soon, I would assume. Maybe they're going to go on the Hunter once again onto Inviable. Seems like they are. Murder of Crows really early. Stormbolt onto Law. The trap's going to land. He's going to sack it immediately to try and counter pressure. Gets into the binding shot. It's going to end early there. I'm not sure if he actually used 2 sacks. I don't think he did. But he's going to pop the Avenger out. He's going to be able to heal it. And Squeaker's in trouble. 30%. This might be a repeat. 8%. Gets the deter in time. And he saves his trinket for a later swap later on in the game.
Yeah, Taz still has pretty much all his cooldowns there, only really down in S, and Eranei's wings are going to fade, but Squeaker's still taking a lot of damage here. Taz might consider Ironbarking him here to stop some of this damage, but he's going to get topped off. He does have that Heart of the Wild up right now, and now Eranei actually has no more sacks left, so he's used both his Blessing if it sacrifices on Law. He's not going to have any way to get Law out of CC in the future. Taz gets put into the Hodge, no follow-up CC on him, and he's going to toss that Ironbark onto Squeaker. And it looks like Squeaker's still the main target of choice. Eranei taking a little bit of damage now. The Stormbolt coming out onto Law. He is going to freedom that, so this trap is going to be not as long on him, and he should be able to top Eranei out. But Eranei's taking a lot of damage here. Law's going to have to get some healing out onto him, trying to fake that interrupt. Crow's coming out from Squeaker onto Eranei, and this could be a lot of trouble. He might have to actually bop here. He's healing himself for a lot. Save of the Light comes out on him, and it looks like he's going to stabilize.
Yeah, it's good that he didn't have to use the bomb. He's going to have it later on, and now Murder of Crows is up. It's going to go on to Squeaker. Fist of Justice onto Taz. He's taking a ton of damage right now. He trinkets. He's trying to line a sight back here. He feigned death to try and drop the targets at 50%. Taz finally comes out of the CC. The Master Flight comes up, but he goes for the Wyvern. He doesn't have the Shadow Meld. He got the NS off before the Wyvern Sting. That was the 1 second he needed last time. He's going to get it off this game, and they're trying to eat the trap, but they don't get it onto Taz. Squeaker could still be in trouble. Eranei might be forced into the bubble, though. Binding Shot's going to trigger on him through his shield wall. Law into the Stormbolt. Clone onto Inviable. They need some cross CC. 20%, almost into the kill shot range. He gets the sack. He's just going to give the bubble up. But in this situation, Squeaker still has 1 more deterrence. If they can survive, they're definitely sustaining much better than the last game.
Yeah, and like we said, as this game goes longer, it's going to be better and better in the favor of Tazzypoo of Ameno. Eranei is going to have his wings up in 10 seconds, though, and Tazzy already using that Ironbark, so this is going to be the opportunity they're looking for. He has no Ironbark available, and the wings are going to be up in around 2 seconds. But Eranei is still taking a little bit of damage. Law caught into that full trap, and Eranei is going to be forced to play a little bit defensive here, getting out of line of sight. As soon as he can, though, he's going to want to go offensive onto Squeaker. Taz caught into that Wyvern, into the DR trap, and he's still not using those wings. I guess he just doesn't feel like it's the time he can go aggressive, but I don't know. The Hodge comes out on the Squeaker and Tazzypoo. Tazzypoo actually got to dispel Squeaker out of that Hodge, so that was kind of a blunder, a little bit of mistime there, but Squeaker taking a lot of damage right now. Eranei still not using those wings, still has them available, so I guess he's just saving them for a rainy day at this point.
Yeah, but Taz is going to have that Ironbark soon. He better use him before he even dies at 44%. Law into the Stormbolt. No CC follow-up. Still at 40%. Law into the trap now. He's going to have to bop himself. And Law bubbles as well. Saved by the Lycan to proc. A lot of cooldowns used from Law and Eranei to just sustain himself. Squeaker now comfortably with 2 deterrences. He's going to have his trinket shortly. Taz has his trinket and Ironbark and an S. And he goes into the Fist of Justice. The Fist of Justice on a Squeaker. No trinket available for a few seconds. He gets dispelled. The Master Flight goes up. He gets the Shadow Meld. Gets the NS Ironbark off. And that was Eranei's wings getting countered. But now Taz into the full trap regardless. Great trap by Inviable. Eranei still getting pressured though. The Murder of Crows is up. No bop, no bubble. 30%. Law is spamming the heals of the Avenging Wrath right now, keeping him toughed even through that immense amount of damage from Memphis and Squeaker.
And that Eranei's sack again, so once again he has no sack available, but Law still has a bop and trinket available to get himself out of that CC. It looks like they're switching it over on a Memphisrains who's around 50% HP right now. Tazzypoo actually caught into the full Wyvern Sting, and Memphis taking a lot of damage here, having to use that in Rage Regeneration. Law using the bop to get himself out of some CC, tossing those heals onto Eranei, who is still the target of choice for Team Tazzypoo of Ameno, but Squeaker taking a lot of damage at the moment. Tazzypoo spamming out as many heals as he can, but Squeaker's just hovering around 20% HP. He's in a lot of trouble right now, taking so much damage. Tazzypoo not in any CC, just spamming out as many heals as possible. The full Hodge comes out. Squeaker still has 2 deterrences available. He doesn't want to deter too late. Could be in a lot of trouble. There finally comes the first deterrence out of him, and Eranei's hovering around 50% HP, lock caught into that Stormbolt trap. But he did freedom it, but Eranei puts the bop up, gets dispelled immediately, and the Save of the Light procs on him.
Yeah, and he's run out of bubble, he's run out of cooldowns. Like, this Red Paladin Hunter is out of steam, and Squeaker has 1 deterrence left. They just need the pressure going, and that Murder of Crows coming up now into Eranei. Law not in any CC, though, should be able to heal through it. They have to get Law CC'd right now, but Taz into the Wyvern Sting. Fist of Justice on a Squeaker, no trinket. Both of them fisted up right now at 40%. A bunch of damage coming in, but Memphis is trying to counter pressure onto Eranei. The deterrence is just going to be used to keep Memphis and Squeaker offensive and give Taz the time he needs to top him off. But now into the half trap, Law popping the Avenging Wrath to heal through this. The next Murder of Crows from Squeaker could be deadly if he can make it to it. He's into the Ironbark. He has the Crows up from Inviable. He's taking a bunch of damage, doing a good job kiting so far. Taz going for some defensive Cyclones, but Inviable's going to feign death to interrupt it. The Ironbark is now over. Taz will have NS shortly to heal through the burst, but they need to wait 18 more seconds. Squeaker has to live for 18 more seconds, and he can win.
Yeah, absolutely. Eranei taking a lot of damage, though. The wings coming out from Eranei, double Hodge coming out. Tazzypoo caught into that full trap. Squeaker in so much trouble, has nothing left, and he's just going to die. They just had nothing left for that double Hodge combo. And it looks like Rip Twitch Chat is going to take that series 2-0.
There it is. I might be able to show you guys the very end there. Let's take a quick look at that replay. Yeah, just like Ven said, they kind of exhausted him. I mean, I feel like if it maybe wasn't double Paladin, this ATC would have a better shot at exhausting these cooldowns, but felt like someone always had a bop or someone always had an out. And there it was. But great job by this ATC. Everybody knows and loves Tazzypoo's ATC, man. They've kind of made a name for themselves at this point, but they are going to be eliminated from tournament number 10. Shout out to those boys. Thank you so much for coming and competing, man. And we're gonna